Perhaps I could try and pick some of these out. We got, again, 22 miles an hour, 12 miles an hour towards the radar site, 22 miles an hour away from the radar site, and those are right next to each other right now. Also, we could take a look at what we call the shear rate, and usually when you get these kind of lighter greens popping up here, that again is an indication of circulation on the radar, and kind of gives you, if you take a look at the sheer swath, the path of what potentially could be some of the circulation in the storm, which eventually can lead to a tornado. And you can see this has had some circulation with it all the way up into basically Frederick County. And actually, this red is kind of the more severe circulation. So this is probably when the National Weather Service went and kind of pulled the plug here, or pulled the chain, and said, we're going to put a tornado warning out with this. So areas right around Root Mill, as well as Marbeth Hill, and down to Westminster under a tornado warning until 4:30 p.m. We'll just have to see if they continue this later. But for now, again, we watch for the couplet. And this is what the National Weather Service takes a look at. And by the way, what you're seeing here next to me as I'm showing you the radar, that is a live look at what's going on our traffic camera network over at Westminster. And you can see the winds are buffeting the trees around. The rain is coming down in sheets. So this is not the time, just like folks here are on the road, this is not the time to be on the road right now. It is, in fact, dangerous to be on the road. So if you can get inside, you never know when these trees come down, and you do not want to be under one if that occurs. So again, it's this area really almost over Westminster right now, where we have this couplet, if you will, the red right next to the green, maybe just south of Westminster, where we have that potential of a tornado. Let's go ahead. We'll pull up what we call the pixel query here on the radar. Well, now we have some winds that are going, again, towards the radar at 26 miles an hour, and right nestled next to winds that are going away from the radar here at about 21 miles an hour. So that's a sign of the wider circulation within the storm. The tornado, if you get one, is what kind of comes out of and kind of almost like a figure skater, you know, tightening her arms and spinning. It kind of comes out of this wider circulation. So that's where you get the faster spin up and the potential damage. So again, this is where we have to be on the lookout here, right near Middlebrook. That area could be seeing, again, the potential of a tornado moving your way. This is a look here on our traffic cam network at the Maryland line. So again, this area here, not too far from the Maryland line, and moving our way again down toward Middlebrook, which is looks like just south here of Westminster. This is where you have that potential of a tornado that could, again, radar indicated, be coming out of this cell. And you can see the rain as it comes down. It's very hard to see, especially around this part of the country, these tornadoes. It's not like the Midwest. A lot of times are wrapped up in rain and blinding downpour. So that's what makes it particularly dangerous. You may say, hey, you know, this is just a thunderstorm, and you continue your activities, and then boom, you're getting a tornado coming through. So the best idea, the best rule of thumb, get inside, away from windows, and also make sure that you get a nice sturdy structure. If you've got your summer camp ending, or doing something outside in the pool or yard work, it's time to get inside and away from those windows. Again, right there near Middlebrook is where we have that potential, at least radar indicated, potential of a tornado that could be coming through. And again, you see that notch, what I was talking about here, as the radar image will be updating here in a second, right from Avondale all the way to Root Mill, and then all the way back to Autumn Ridge, including Westminster, and especially areas just south of Westminster. That's where we could have the potential here of a spin-up tornado, as we've been talking about the past 24 hours, coming through your area. So let's go ahead and we'll pop off. There we go. Try to get this to update a little bit. Right around Avondale Run. Avondale Run, you are in that tornado warning, and that will last you until, again, 4:30 p.m. There's our newest sweep of the radar just coming in. They coming about every 3 to 5 minutes. So again, I want to kind of zoom out, and I think it's important here to show you some of the towns that could be affected by this. So let's zoom out a little bit, and again, we're going to go and pop up our storm path. And again, this is probably right here north of Alta Vista, where we've got this potential tornado coming through. And again, let's clear that off, and we can give you a little better picture. I think that we've got there we go. Let's take care of that. And again, this is moving off to the east and the southeast at about 25 miles an hour. So I'm going to draw that in for you so you can see right there. We'll move that to the southeast at about 20, 25 miles an hour. And again, these are some of the areas that are going to be affected. Now, mind you, as it's in Carroll County, just south of Westminster, you're not seeing any towns popping up. The reason is because this is in a little bit more of a rural to suburban area. There's not a whole lot of towns here. There's some farmland, of course, there are subdivisions. So let's go ahead, we'll zoom tight in, and I can actually show you some of these places like Tannery, Buckingham View, that area. Right south of Westminster. I want to actually check on the rotation again. Let's take a look at the storm relative velocity again. Right there near Middlebrook is where we had that potential, I believe, of our circulation with our tornado. So Campus Heights, I guess it's not too far away from the college here. If you're in that area, you got to make sure that you are inside, away from windows. You're in a sturdy structure. Again, Campus Heights, Alta Vista, where you see the green meeting up with the red, that is what we call our couplet. So that's where we have that potential of circulation or the potential of a spin-up tornado. And again, we have that tornado warning that continues in the red box that you see here blinking all the way from right around Westminster, which you've kind of passed through this at this point, but all the way south of Westminster where you see the green meeting up with the red, right? Basically kind of in this area right here is where we're most concerned that there could be a spin-up tornado. But again, that red box goes all the way down into southern and eastern portions of the county. We're taking another look at the traffic camera network that's just behind me here. And what that is showing us is the area where this cell, or just very near to where this area where the cell is coming through. This is right around, again, Westminster on our traffic camera network. You can see the rain coming down. The winds look like they've, at least for now, died down. So that is some good news here in Westminster. That looks like the skies may be brightening here. But as I mentioned, it's moved south and east of Westminster at this point. And I believe we've got Megan Gillen on the phone, and we'll be getting to her in a second. We're just getting her all set up. But again, this tornado warning is in effect south of Westminster and then pulling its way down into southern portions of Carroll County, just actually almost getting into Baltimore County here, north and west of Reisterstown. The cell still looking pretty healthy. You can see, again, this notching. That is, again, the problem that we usually look for, or the signature that we look for in these cells when they become tornadic potentially around here in Baltimore and the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic. It's not the typical supercells, these, discrete single cells like we usually see in the Midwest. It's this kind of rain-wrapped potential tornado. And now we've got Megan Gillen, who is ready on the phone. She's up in the Manchester-Hampstead area. What are you seeing there?
Well, Jonathan, a lot of rain, a lot of rain. It's been beating down for probably 25 minutes here. And we had the lightning and thunder roll in first, which was terrifying for the dogs and probably every kid in our neighborhood. So we went inside, and it took a while for the rain. And then since then, it's been nonstop. The wind, not terrible right now. I'm looking at our flagpole in the driveway right now, and the flag is waving, but it's not anything where you'd start thinking, boy, something's coming through here. Our trees don't seem to be swaying. We don't have that wind, Jonathan, just a lot of that heavy downpour that you were talking about. And, of course, a lot of thunder and lightning. And as I stepped outside of the garage, it's a lot cooler. I don't know if you've been talking about temperature drops at all, Jonathan, but I noticed a difference from when I was out about an hour ago to just walking out now that the rain has stopped. And we've got the big drops, the huge raindrops falling right now. But other than that, it doesn't look like, when you can feel that tornado threat coming, it doesn't look like that here in the Hampstead Manchester area. On one side of my yard, it looks like there's still some dark clouds moving through. But on the other side, we're starting to see a little bit of light. So I don't know if that means ominous weather, Jonathan, or if maybe we're getting through it here in the Hampstead Manchester area. I know some of our friends in Westminster are still feeling it pretty hard. So maybe they're getting it. And I don't know if you can hear that. That's the thunder. It's rolling through all the time, and the lightning strikes are visible. So it's close. What does that make sense, Jonathan? Is that what you're seeing on the map?
Yeah, Megan, I know you're a veteran to having these tornado warnings up in your area. We've actually had you on the phone a few times with these tornado warnings. This time around, though, Megan, you are in a severe thunderstorm warning, so you're not under the tornado warning. So I guess you're pretty right on that the worst of the weather is south of you, right around Westminster. They're really getting hammered down there. That's where the tornado warning is. So again, Megan, thank you for calling in. I appreciate all your help and miss you on the morning show too. So stay safe.
You're doing a great job. We'll be watching.
All right. Well, okay, so let's get right into things. And thank you, Megan, for calling in. You can see here again the tornado warning that continues right here in this area, south and east of Westminster. That tornado warning continues until 4:30 p.m. now. And we just had Megan Gillen on the phone, who's up north of this, right around the Hampstead area. So you are not under that tornado warning there. But this area that is just south and east of Westminster, we've gotten hammered just right around the college, south of Westminster. And now we have this potential cell still potentially at least on radar here. This is radar indicated on radar, potentially right in this notched area, south and east of Westminster, around Bethel, Carrollton, and Bollinger Estates. Any of these roads here, you want to be off of them. You want to be inside in a sturdy structure. This is where we have that potential of a tornado that could be at least radar indicated coming from this thunderstorm cell. I want to take a look here. It's always helpful to check on the storm relative velocity. And again, within that tornado warning, you see the green next to the red. When you have the green next to the red like this, it is called a couplet. And that usually means you have some sort of circulation or potentially a thunderstorm with a tornado with it. And right now we are on our way to the location as we're on the highways traveling in our Chevy Storm Tracker. You can see in the distance the dark clouds. So we are, again, under a tornado warning continued now for Carroll County, south and east of Westminster. Westminster has now been removed out of this, but basically south and east of Westminster and just north and west of Reisterstown. This has been near McDaniel College and now continues to move its way south and eastbound across the southern and eastern sections of the county, of Carroll County, and we'll just have to see if we're going to extend that tornado warning. This is a cell we're going to have to watch closely. You can see this thing is putting down immense amounts of lightning, some odd, 100 strikes here on this image. Let's go ahead and put it back on the reflectivity. Again, this is a cell right here that we're most concerned about right there. This is where the circulation continues to potentially come out of this cell. If you are in the way of this, if you are in the path of this, if you are in this red box here, and we're going to go ahead and zoom in so you can see some of these towns and some of these old subdivisions, you got to get inside. You got to get away from the windows. Even Megan was saying, we just spoke to her, that, you know, her and the kids who were outside playing, they got inside. That is what you need to do. Get away from the windows. Make sure that you get away from anything that could be a flying object. If you don't have, you know, a interior room with no windows like a bathroom, sometimes folks, they hop in the tub and they put a mattress or something soft over them, or they get under a sturdy workbench. So if there is something that tries to come through, or a tree, say, comes down on the house, you are at least protected. Now, right here around Patapsco, this area now getting in line for this potential tornado. We've got about another 5 minutes on that tornado warning that continues again until 4:30 p.m. Just south here again of Adams Choice and also Bluegrass and Lee's Mill. So right around Patapsco, you're probably under the gun with this. And again, we'll just have to see if the National Weather Service is going to be extending this warning as it continues to traipse its way south and east, actually just south of due east at about 25 miles an hour. So let's, again, go ahead and we'll pop that up one more time, get that correct track on there. And again, there we go. So you see there, we've got, again, at about 451 Butler potentially could be in line for getting this cell. So that's way down the line here hopefully by that point, we'll get rid of our tornado warning with this. For now, it's in fairly rural areas, but around here, as you know, a lot of folks have moved into those rural areas, and we do have a lot of subdivisions, a lot of neighborhoods. May not be a town that would show up on the radar, but we do have a lot of folks that may be in line with this, even though, it may be intermixed with forest and, a lot of green space. There's places like Kingston Riding, as well as Evergreen Hills and Carroll County Trails. All these spots are in line to get this potential radar indicated tornado. And I say that because it has not been spotted, as far as we know, by the public at this point. This warning is just coming off of the radar indication. And again, when we talk about the radar indication, basically this is it. You take a little zoom out, you see some of the reds and some of the greens. The signature not looking as impressive right now, but still, we are going to stay with this through the next 3 minutes as we see if this tornado warning expires or if it is renewed south and east by the National Weather Service. We take a look at what we call the shear rate. And usually when you have these more intense kind of lighter greens, that is where you have the potential of a spin-up tornado. And again, this is kind of where we've been talking about right around Bethel and Evergreen Hills, Castles Riding. Any person in this area really needs to take cover and get inside at this point away from windows. We'll also take a look at the shear swath, which shows us the potential of circulation within our cell in the history of such. You can see it going all the way back to Westminster. This is where we had our earlier warnings, and those continue to move their way down to the Baltimore County line. So for now, again, we continue to track this the next 2 minutes. I believe we've got the Chevy Storm Tracker still riding the roads on its way to intercept this storm and see what's going on here. But nonetheless, again, if you are in this tornado warning area, that is going to take you through now, again, 4:30 p.m. So another minute or two on this, but that takes you through 4:30 p.m. You're going to have to make sure you get into an interior room, away from windows, and also take cover. Do not be outside with this. If you can get safe photos or safe video, you can chime that into our website. You could just go on your cell phone and put that in on our app. Otherwise, the most important thing I want you to do is stay safe. So if you see something coming and the winds are picking up, the rain's coming down, and it's getting dangerous, you think I shouldn't be out here or I shouldn't be doing this, it is time to get inside. So take cover here. Again, next minute or two, it's still a strong cell. Even if we drop the tornado warning, there has been a history of up to quarter-size hail with some of this, as well as some very gusty, damaging wind potential, too, up to 60 miles an hour. So we'll just have to see what's going to happen with this cell. Let's take a look at the base velocity, too. And again, you can kind of see that couplet kind of waning a little bit, but still that tornado warning is there until 4:30 p.m. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I want to see if we can get any of the radar indicated winds out of this. And again, they're not extremely strong, but it's sometimes in between these locations that we watch for that potential of a spin-up tornado right in there. And that's where the winds could be quite a bit stronger, which can't really be picked up that well by the radar, but can, of course, when we have a damage survey that comes out to take a look. So again, we've got about another just shy of a half minute on this, and we'll see what happens here. We still do have that tornado warning that lasts until 4:30 p.m. I'm going to go ahead, pull up that reflectivity again, and it's this area right here, not too far from Beaver Ridge, south of Lee's Mill, and north of Cedarhurst. And it looks like right now we have gone back down to a severe thunderstorm warning in this area. And you can see the skies brightening on our MDOT cameras a little bit, not too far from the Beltway. And we've got another, we've got Jim Bennett. We've got another, okay, great. So we've got another fellow here, Jim Bennett from the Piney Branch Golf Course. How are things looking in your area?
We're looking a lot of rain, a lot of lightning, a lot of thunder. Our course closed about 20 and just a lot of lightning. I don't see much right now. I'm looking at my flagpoles, and they're hanging straight down. So not too much wind with the storm, but a lot of rain, a lot of lightning and thunder.
All right, you broke up there a little bit. Can you see any Any damage across the golf course there or anything like that? Jim? Might have lost Jim here. Weather. Looks like we lost Jim, but the weather not too good, obviously, around him. But for now, at least, we are back down to a severe thunderstorm warning. Actually, we've got a couple of them. And since we have expired the tornado warning, we're going to toss it back to the regular newscast. But if more warnings do come up, tornado warnings, we'll be back here live wall to wall. Guys?
All right, Jonathan, excellent coverage. Thank you.
All right, we're going to go to our breaking news coverage right now. President Biden is speaking about the nation's COVID-19 vaccine efforts. Let's listen in.
Too many people are dying. We're watching someone they love dying and saying, if I just got vaccinated, if I just. It's heartbreaking. And it's complicated even more because it's preventable. America's divided between the majority of eligible people who are vaccinated and those who are not. And I understand that many of you in the majority are frustrated with the consequences of the failure of the minority to get vaccinated.